Center, bringing better to you.
More of the Morning Rush coming up next.
Matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Chocolate milk, apparently the drink of choice for Bryson DeChambeau in his celebration after winning the U.S. Open in Pinehurst #2 on Sunday. What an ending. What a conclusion for him, for Rory McIlroy, who still finds himself in the midst of one of the longest droughts in not just golf history, but professional sports history. Tommy, you were kind of saying before the show, just the consequence of where he was to see not only DeChambeau with the shot and on 18 and the putt that got it, but for Rory to fall apart like he did was just traumatizing. I mean, it was just awful to watch.
Man, we'll discuss that. Did Bryson win it as much as Rory lost it? I mean, that's kind of one of the questions to unwind following yesterday's U.S. Open, and a lot more to get to. It is a Hot Take Monday. We all got some hot takes on the U.S. Open, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Celebrating dads over the weekend. You can continue to celebrate dad all month long at Wheels RV. They have got a tremendous selection right now, and they got bonus discounts for Father's Day that you don't want to miss. So if you're looking for a Grand Design, Forest River, the new Brinkley Model Z, they've got them, and they're honoring dad all month long with the gift of adventure, the gift of camping, and the gift of doing it in style at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your calls and texts welcome on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Again, Bryson DeChambeau is the 2024 U.S. Open champion. There will still be a lot of talk about his accomplishment. I know it's significant because of his dad passing away a few years ago, it being on Father's Day weekend. But there still is a lot of conversation on what happened for Rory McIlroy down the stretch.
Excruciating decade-long wait and excruciating short misses for McIlroy coming down the stretch.
Now, I found myself, I don't know how you felt, but I found myself cheering for DeChambeau, even though I don't even like the guy. But his competitor plays across the pond, or from across the pond, I should say. And anytime that I have a chance to cheer for an American rather than anyone else in the tour, or really not just in golf, but anyone else, I'm going to cheer for the guy that plays in our country. And I don't necessarily, again, I don't like DeChambeau. I really don't. And I don't hate McIlroy. But it's on our soil. It's the U.S. Open. So I was cheering for him, and you could hear the crowd kind of rim him a little bit. And McIlroy just fell apart in, what did you say, 3 of the last 5 holes with just some short putts. He
missed 2 short putts.
Botched.
Bogeys, but, DeChambeau continued to get himself out of jams.
Driver was awful this weekend, which is wild.
He continued to find ways and got very fortunate in that Wiregrass where he wasn't behind a cod of it and could get a club on it. Even on the 72nd hole, I don't know if, it's just his game to pound that driver, and he swings with a violent tempo. But, on the 18th, rather than take a more measured approach, he finds himself left and, nearly needing relief from the stands, but couldn't quite gain that. Had to bend a club there and put himself in the bunker, which ultimately was the shot of the tournament, that 65-foot bunker shot. But, yeah, DeChambeau's driver could not find fairways to save his life. He continued, beginning on 13 especially, scramble out of trouble time and time again and really keep himself in contention and able to close the deal on the 72nd hole.
I'm still amazed that he's anywhere from like 170 to 190 yards out and he pulls out a pitching wedge. I know I've watched him plenty of times, but that's still staggering to me to watch this guy hit it with the ferocity. I mean, it's just
his pitching wedge and the one in mine or your bag are not the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just still
he's using a different kind of pitching wedge than you or I have.
It is unbelievable to watch. So
shaft link is different.
Yeah, so that's again where a good chunk of the show's content is going to be predicated around Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau, and him winning. We had some great College World Series games this weekend. My goodness gracious, 3 straight walk-offs, which was unbelievable. Yeah. I was thinking, I'm not going to pay that much attention. And then I found myself, all right, this is a good game. This is a good game. This is a good team. And I guess the SEC is undefeated so far against ACC. I think they're 3-0. So the banner being held up by the Southeastern Conference schools still in play. You've got some elimination games tonight, or one elimination game, I should say, tonight. Had one last night. Virginia is already heading back to Charlottesville after being eliminated. So, yeah, again, we're not to the dog days of summer just yet because the NBA Finals is still tonight. We've still got the College World Series. We had the U.S. Open. But we're getting to a point where there's not going to be as many intense sporting events going on. But this weekend did live up to expectation. I would say it overexceeded expectations.
Yeah, and golf kind of capped everything off. I think a lot of people were probably, with their dads or with their grandparents or somewhere maybe watching some of that yesterday. And yeah, you're right. Baseball was just as good this weekend. And I guess we get back to we had a game, a game 4, and I guess now we get a game 5 in the NBA Finals too. That wasn't maybe the ending you wanted because Dallas dominated that, but. That's kind of what's on the sports menu right now.
Yep, 7:30 tonight on ABC, and of course right here on ESPN Arkansas, we will have Game 5. I'm hoping, in fact, it's one of my hot takes this morning, we're going to get into it in just a bit, that Dallas ends up getting a victory tonight. I think it's going to be very weird. I think that Dallas is going to win tonight. Kyrie Irving's going to go off, and yet I think they're going to lose when they head back to Dallas in 6 games. I don't know why I feel that way. I've just kind of thought that the last couple days after Dallas thoroughly dominated. In fact, if you would have hit the Ty Richardson bet over under if Jordan, or excuse me, the prop bet that if Jordan Walsh was going to play, he ended up playing on Friday night. So, which was, I don't think any of us, every one of us said on Friday during our Fence Man Friday picks, yeah, Jordan's not going to play. And of course, he plays on Friday in a blowout loss. They got creamed by the Mavericks, which I think
I don't think we saw that coming.
No, I think Dallas, again, they didn't want to get swept. Maybe it's a gentleman's sweep after tonight. But I also think there was something to the idea that Boston wanted to win at home. That team did not and you only had Tatum and Brown only took 24 shots combined. So they didn't even look like they wanted to play that much, to be honest. Like when you see your stars on a certain team, not attempt, like Peyton Pritchard attempted more than both of them, which is absurd. That should never happen for the Boston Celtics, but that's what happened. And now we'll see if Game 5 goes to the Celtics and they get closer and closer to nearly 20 championships, or if Dallas is able to hold on for Game 6 heading back to American Airlines Arena.
You can check the lines on that and everything coming up with the College World Series, all available at Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. So if you want to find some action on tonight's game, it will be there for you with the Bet Saracen app. Hey, it won't be long, and football season will be back around. We'll be down to closing in on 70 days now. I didn't hear the countdown at the...
I think it's 73.
73, yeah. It won't be long. We'll be inside 70 days. Hey, no better place to be this fall than at, I guess it's no longer Donald W. Reynolds here in a couple of days. It's just Razorback Stadium right now. Get your tickets. If you haven't bought them already, you can go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com. And then if you're looking for single game tickets or resale, SeatGeek is the official resale marketplace of the Arkansas Razorbacks. That's SeatGeek.com.
All right, we got hot takes to get to here on a Hot Take Monday. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese played over the weekend. There's some controversy surrounding a specific foul. We've got that and more on the College World Series. Plus, Chuck Barrett joins us in 20 minutes. You can hop in with us as we continue on here for the next 2 hours and 50 minutes. Stay with us here right on the Morning Rush, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, all of our video channels, and the brand new Hit That Line Now app.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
house here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, really? I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
5?
Yeah. What, where, when, why, and who?
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? WWWW, 4 W's, makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles the people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Pig suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell woo pig fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck. Calling hogs, they go sweet.
Deep middle, open. Jarius Wright trying to get his balance. If he can, he might take it. Breaks the tackle, down the sideline, got blocked, and he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Hope you had a great Father's Day weekend. Regardless if you got a chance to see to your son, talk to your dad, talk to your grandma, whoever was a father figure in your life. We hope you had a chance to catch up with them some way, shape, or form this weekend. We had a really good conversation with Isaiah Joe on Friday, and he talked about the impact that his father, Derek, had in his life. I want to go back to that and also get into some of our Hot Take Monday coming up in just a bit.
And speaking of Derek's and the weekend, we got to talk about Derek Ruskin's wedding. You and I both attended over the weekend. We'll squeeze in some thoughts and some moments from that as well. Hey, we're brought to you by our folks over at the Hangout. If it's Monday and you've stepped on the scale maybe already, or you're dreading stepping on the scale and you're looking for a great place to work out, the Hangout has it for you. Over 8,000 square feet in their gym, which is big and spacious. Always got the equipment you're looking for. Never a line or a wait to get on the treadmill that you need, or the bike that you need, or the equipment that you need, because they got a big variety and a lot of it. They've got indoor and outdoor tennis and pickleball. They've got basketball, and they got more to come. They've also got the help that you need. So if you need help with a workout program, they've got that, and they've got group training as well. You need help with your racket game for pickleball or for tennis, they've got tennis pros on staff that can help you grow your game. So stop in and find out more. It's our favorite place to work out and to hang out. It's at the Hangout. Go to thehangoutfs.com. That's thehangoutfs.com for family and individual membership plans that are available, or stop in and see them at 5400 Gary Street in Fort Smith. Be a part of something different, something better that Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
If you want to listen to the full 15-minute conversation with Isaiah, it's on hitthatline.com. Also, our podcast, just search Hit That Line. One of the main talking points from last Friday was talking about Father's Day, the impact his dad had in his life. Here's what Isaiah had to say about Derek and really how he's coached him since he was a kid.
He's a great father. I couldn't ask for anybody better. But when it came time to step on the floor, it was like no longer father-son relationship. It was coach and player relationship. So I didn't have it easy. He didn't give me any handouts. I know when I first started playing for him on my AAU team, he sat me at the end of the bench. I wasn't even playing. So everything was earned, and he pushed me every single day in practice. I was born around the sport, so falling in love with it was like second nature to me. But as far as like the workouts went, he pushed me day in and day out. It was a grind for sure. Yeah. I definitely had to earn my way.
I think he also mentioned during that conversation both his mom and dad went to the University of Arkansas. My dad coached me up to 6th grade, and I remember, sometimes, Tommy, parents, fathers, and mothers favor their kids. It sounds like Derek and my father had the same line of thinking. It's like, no, you have to work harder and earn more than the other kids on the team. Because not all parents are like that.
No, because when you find yourself in that situation, you don't want ever the finger of favoritism pointed your way.
Yeah.
So I think the coach's kid always has to not always, but generally, when it's handled like you're talking about here, go above and beyond to prove they earn the playing time.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was a great conversation. A lot of fun for us to have him here in the studio with us. And, just think about the odds of two players within a year or two of each other out of Fort Smith Northside, coming out of a high school, then go to the same university in their state, and then to end up on the same NBA team. I don't know what the odds would be on that, in advance of all that, but it'd have to be pretty long. So I think that's such a neat story with him and Jalen together.
You would have won some money if you bet on that.
Yeah,
10+ years
it'd have been
ago.
staggering odds to think about two players from the same high school in the same town ending up in same collegiate and professional situation in the NBA. That's awesome.
Isaiah did not reveal what he got his dad for Father's Day, but I guess based on what his tone was, it was something good.
You didn't want to spoil. It was Friday. You couldn't spoil the surprise.
Yeah. No. What did you get, if anything, for Father's Day? Because I've talked to some dads more recent. So my friends are dads of a year, 3 months, 2 years. So obviously their kid's not going to get them something because the kid can't talk. Did you get anything from your significant other or your kiddos that
my oldest took me to to a James Taylor concert a week and a half, 2 weeks ago in Kansas City. So that was kind of my big gift. Me and my wife went to see Chris Stapleton the other night with my mom. So that was a great moment. Then last night we had dinner with Laura's parents, and that was great. We watched the finish of the U.S. Open. And then right before dark, me and my kids went out and had a little putting contest on the putting green nearby.
There you go.
So that was it was a great Father's Day.
I talked to my father yesterday, and they were having an Italian restaurant on the all-inclusive resort that they're going to be to. Apparently, it's been good so far. There's like an adults-only pool where they got moved to by. Apparently, they got comped to move to a nicer room. They didn't have to do anything. I can't remember the reason he said it was, but
a timeshare presentation.
Anytime, yeah, that might have been
a timeshare deal.
Anytime that you get something better out of a deal for not having to pay anything,
where are they at?
You take that. Costa Rica.
Oh,
Costa Rica.
Cool.
Yeah. So they are. My dad is seemingly enjoying himself. So for all the fathers out there, hope you had a good Father's Day weekend. I'm glad you mentioned James Taylor, because I did want to make sure to play this for you. I feel like I hear this at weddings. Every single wedding I go to. Did this play at Derek's wedding?
I don't remember this one.
Okay.
If it didn't, it should have.
Okay.
But,
this is a
he was
wedding
in Little Rock Friday night.
Okay.
James Taylor was.
All right. And you saw him a week ago in Kansas City, 2 weeks ago.
I couldn't go Friday night because I was at Derek's rehearsal.
At Derek's
dinner.
rehearsal dinner. But I hear this song so much during the course of the wedding. You mentioned us talking about Derek's wedding. I thought it was good. I will say I have never been given a T-shirt. I've been to 40 plus weddings in my life, but I will give him and Amanda credit. His new bride, the T-shirt, it had kind of a Taylor Swift type of vibe feel to it. What was on front of it. My hot take is everyone should do wedding T-shirts. It was great. I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the wedding is Derek throwing out like a baseball toss those T-shirts.
I thought you knocking the bride's grandmother down to get yours was a little bit distasteful.
She was in the way.
We can talk about that later. Derek wanted a T-shirt gun. That was nixed. He wanted the gun, but in traditional, if you're in radio, you'll get this joke, and you guys will get it. But I had to, of course, go up to Derek after I had one in my hand, a T-shirt in my hand, and ask if I could get one for my brother. Because in our business, if you're giving out T-shirts, you can have a stack of them. Someone can walk up wearing a T-shirt, having one you just gave them, and then they'll always ask for another one for someone. It's generally their brother that needs the T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get one for my brother too?
Can I get one more?
Yeah.
So, but
no one's satisfied with just the one T-shirt you'll give them. So I had to ask him, can I get one for my brother?
Did you get 10 out of 10 on your groomsmen grades? Did you get a 10 out of 10 from Derek and Amanda?
I have not got the report back, but had a lot of fun celebrating those two. And, I guess they're off to Canada. Wink, wink. I don't think that's actually
okay. He just said that so no one will bother him.
Yeah, he thinks paparazzi's going to follow him or something. All right, Chuck is coming up in just a moment. We are moving closer and closer to July the 4th. You got to get your fireworks. USA Fireworks is the place to get it, and you can win a fireworks package with hitthatline.com.
Yeah, $2,000 worth. Chris Brewer giving it away to you. All you have to do is, again, go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. Very easy to do, and you'll have a chance to win. Plus, go to usafireworks.org for your chance at wholesale prices, which is basically half the cost. Chuck Barrett joins us when we return.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Razorbacks have won it.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
We can laugh all we want, but everybody's going to have done this within 10 years.
Agreed.
Maybe 5. We talk all the time. Oh, they got to find the money. What are they going to do to find the money? Here's the thing you always have to remember about athletic directors. At big schools where sports is popular, they know they can literally find someone to sponsor every blade of grass on every field that they have. You can sell anything. The sponsors will buy anything related to college sports.
He put up a request to buy a certain piece of, I guess not Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium anymore. Have you put your bid in for Thomas Kraft, Lord Thomas Wayne Kraft?
I need to know
Stadium?
which blades of grass I might want to sponsor there. Are they going to be in the end zone or are they going to be at the 50? That's what I need to know.
Coach's box,
yeah,
bleachers, whatever the case may be. Chuck's going to join us coming up.
There's some truth to what he's saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. We're going to talk some College World Series, and we're going to talk what happened at Pinehurst #2 this weekend, as well as Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese drama as well.
Hey, it's a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. We're celebrating Dad all month long. It was Dad's big weekend, but the savings continue at Wheels RV on Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley models. Their entire inventory is on sale with exclusive discounts just for Dad and, of course, the lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. So let's make Father's Day and the month of June one he'll never forget. Visit them today at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Chuck, sometimes the last day of a major is not exhilarating or exciting. That was not the case yesterday. The U.S. Open went down to the bitter end. Bryson DeChambeau takes his second. I know it's an emotional weekend for him being Father's Day and everything, but what a conclusion to that event this weekend.
Yeah, both guys tried to give it away. You could tell at the end that nerves were a big, big part of it, and even the greatest players can fall victim to nerves, and we saw that yesterday with both those guys. But, McIlroy hit an equally good bunker shot on 18 about 15 minutes before DeChambeau came through. He just missed the putt. If he makes the putt there, he wins. So disappointing for him, I'm sure. I kind of had a feeling after Thursday DeChambeau might be the one to beat, and he was very impressive all weekend.
Yeah, it was cool to just watch it down the stretch.
Another epic up and down at Pinehurst for a U.S. Open championship. Bryson DeChambeau now has 2.
Now, y'all tell me if I'm wrong on this. I always watch the crowd and their reactions anytime someone wins a major, and either kind of the mid-reaction, the overexcited, like when Tiger won a few years ago, or just like, this whoever won, it's just kind of whatever. I got a sense from what I watched, it was just kind of like a mid-level excitement. I didn't see like the entire crowd just go nuts when he won. I don't know if that's just because of the not patrons that were there, but the crowd itself. Did y'all get a sense that everyone was hyped to see him win? Because I don't think I still think there's a lot of people out there that don't necessarily like him.
Well, first of all, he was emulating Payne Stewart. It was part of what he was doing. That's his hero for many reasons. Mm-hmm. Number two, I don't know I can't speak for how the crowd felt. I can tell you how I felt. I was conflicted. I like Rory. He's been the face of the PGA Tour. I know he's from Ireland and not from the United States, but DeChambeau's a live guy. I don't root for live guys. Chuck, I don't know how you felt, but I was conflicted. But I thought that Bryson DeChambeau did a great job yesterday signing the hat for the special needs child there between the holes, high-fiving the crowd. I thought he did a good job yesterday of rehabbing his image with those that maybe don't find favor with the live tour guys.
Well, you can tell that's a point of emphasis. You can tell that that's one of the things he's trying to do right now is change his image. And, hey, the guys on television helped him. I mean, they talked about how he was trying to change his image, and they made certain that they, showed every interaction. So he got some help over the course of the weekend, rehabilitating his image. Golf needs to rehabilitate its overall image. Because of the split between tours and, the LIV and the Saudi involvement and everything that came with that. They've had an issue in terms of the way they're perceived by the public. You don't need to have conflicted fans at the end of a major championship. That tells you that, maybe your approach needs to be altered a little bit. But DeChambeau's trying to be a different guy publicly. and at least this weekend it worked because his play matched.
And it being Father's Day weekend, his dad passed in November of 2022. This sounds, I don't even know, but it's like that almost, it's like the emotional appeal for a lot of people. You mentioned the broadcasters there, Chuck, help them out. Any time that there's a remembrance of the passing of someone, especially on their weekend specifically, I don't think that hurts his case either.
Well, no one can get intentionally sappy or insincerely sappy quicker than a TV sportscaster. And I'm sure that, probably doesn't sit well, but it's the truth because a lot of what they do on there is just designed to conjure up emotion. But I thought it was a great tournament. I enjoyed watching it. I watched it a lot yesterday, watched it a lot Saturday. If you didn't know anything about what had happened with the Live Tour, you would have watched DeChambeau over the weekend, and you might have come away thinking, I really like that guy. So I give him credit for winning. I was pulling for Rory. I'm not going to lie. I was pulling for Rory, but he missed a couple of putts. Missed on 16, missed on 18, and hadn't missed a 3-footer all weekend until he got there. So he had a chance to win it and just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Rory lost it just as much as Bryson won it. Give Bryson credit for the 65-foot or 65-yard, rather, bunker shot or whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to go down, Chuck, as one of the greatest finishing hole shots. I'm not going to say it's the greatest, but it's amongst them in major tournament history, in U.S. Open history. The length of that bunker shot, the recovery from the drive that was nearly behind the grandstands, that's an epic moment in U.S. Open history.
It was a very well played hole after the first shot. I mean, everything he needed to do. And then I know he ended up in the bunker, but it was going to be really hard for him to avoid doing that. If you really look at the shot that he hit, after he'd driven left, I mean, it was going to be hard for him to avoid that, keep it on the fairway. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. It wasn't quite as long a bunker shot, but Rory hit an equally good bunker shot when he was on 18. He just missed the putt. If Rory makes that putt and he wins by a stroke, we're talking about Rory's shot as opposed to DeChambeau's shot. But, of course, that's not what happened because he missed the putt.
Because the shot ended up in the difference in those two, because the length of the putts weren't greatly different between Rory's and Bryce's.
Was downhill.
But Rory's was on the wrong side of the hole.
Yeah.
And that was the total difference. And it broke so quickly across that hole. I mean, and you could see it on one of the camera angles above before he even hit the putt. Man, that is nasty. I mean, it just looked nasty. So, yeah, he needed the hole to get in the way, and the hole just didn't get in the way of the ball, Chuck.
No, you're right. He missed the putt, and that opened the door, and DeChambeau took advantage.
It wasn't just the missing the one putt. It was the 3 bogeys over 5 holes, and then I think he compounded his issues by leaving the course, not speaking of what happened, not explaining kind of, in his own words, the painful misery that he continues to go through with 14 years.
He didn't describe for everybody how awful he felt.
Right. And
I think that stuff's overblown. If I'd have been Rory, I'd have walked straight to the car.
Well, I don't think it did him any favors, and that,
I don't think he needs to be done any favors. I mean, he's Rory McIlroy. He'll be back at the next major, and we'll be pulling for him.
Does he get fined? I'm assuming.
No.
Oh, he doesn't get fined.
It's just only in the court of public opinion.
Okay. Well,
I didn't even notice. I got to be honest. I didn't even notice. I hadn't even thought about it until you brought it up.
I did, and Scott Van Pelt, I don't want to say roasted him. Van Pelt was fair with him. And
why does he owe everyone an explanation?
Because when as Van Pelt put it, when Greg Norman collapsed in '96 at the Masters over a 5-hour period, he stood there. When Phil Mickelson bounced it off the tent on the 72nd hole, he stood there and said, "I'm an idiot." It's just part of what you do. It's just part of what you do. You explain what happened. You stand up and you take care of business. And he chose not to. He'll survive it. It's not the end of the world. But
I think that's
part of it.
I think that's picking on him a little bit. That's just my opinion. I mean, think what you want, and everybody can have their opinion, and I'm not going to argue with the opinion, but I'm just saying that I'd have probably done the same thing.
Here's the here's the last thing I guess we need to ask on this before we move on to college baseball. We got Dalen in Hot Springs that's wanting to talk about the great College World Series games this weekend. Guys, it's been 10 plus years since the PGA Championship back in Valhalla in 2014. I mean, it's a long time since he's done anything.
Yeah, he looked done, didn't he? He looked like he just looked like it was over all weekend.
And he's had several top 10 finishes this week, not this weekend, excuse me, since then. But I do think people want
Rory.
Yeah, talking
in the
about
drought,
Rory.
he's had 21 top 10 finishes.
Yeah, he's been there a lot of times, but he's 35 years old now. He's getting closer to not the back end of his career, but less away from his prime, I should say. I mean,
he's very capable of winning the next one. He's very capable of winning the Open Championship in 4 weeks or whenever it is. He's very capable of winning the Masters next April in 2025 or the PGA or the U.S. Open. His game is not his swing, his game, his distance, his power. All of that is not the issue.
Great. It had some great drives. I just wonder from like
between the years,
the mental, and that was what I would say, the mental exhaustion. And we've seen it. Like I think about what Bills fans had to go through in the 90s and how they made it to the mountaintop 4 straight times and weren't able to get it done. He's been, again, second place this weekend. You mentioned the top 10 finishes in that drought that he's had.
I'd take it. I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Oh, no.
Every other pro golfer would.
No question. There's no question about that. But I think people are starting to wonder, hey, when is that going to come next? And I know it's difficult to forecast, being it is sports.
Wondering or wishing,
I think it's a combination of both because you brought it up. You were cheering for Rory. Yeah. I found myself, again, even though with the live stuff, I still want the American to win. Even though I agree with everything he does, I was like the USA chants that were at Rory and stuff. Even though, but it's just,
that was kind of Bush when they chanted USA when he missed.
You didn't like that?
That was Bush.
I like so you remember a couple years back at the Ryder Cup when McElroy hit that long putt after, and he starts doing. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? And then Patrick Reed follows it up. I kind of like that a little bit. It's like
golf doesn't have enough of that.
Yeah,
it doesn't need too much of it, but golf needs.
I thought it was just enough. But yeah, that sometimes there's things chanting at the crowd like there was in Omaha this weekend that go too far. I don't know if that was too far.
Let's go to the caller. What do you say?
Oh, the text?
Oh, text. I'm sorry. I thought you had Damon on the line.
No, Daly, yeah.
I thought we did have one great take on the text from Tyler, who's listening this morning in South Korea, who says, hey, if Phil can win 1 over 50, Rory's got a lot of opportunity ahead of him. I agree with that on the McLarty Daniel text line. So, this idea that Rory is done, I think he's a long ways from done.
Yeah. All right. So that was this weekend, as well as the College World Series beginning on Friday, which I know a lot of you, once Arkansas falls in postseason, you turn college baseball off. If you happen to take in college baseball this weekend, you did yourself a favor. You had 3 straight walk-offs in Omaha. The SEC against the ACC competition is 3-0. Guys, there were some fantastic conclusions and fantastic finishes this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I was glad that I took in some of it. I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch this. And I watched this like, man, this is good baseball. And you just kept watching good game after good game.
Very competitive. I mean, there were some games. The first Tennessee game was not a well-played game, but it was a very competitive game. And Tennessee came back and won it. And Kentucky did kind of the same thing in their game. Kind of looks like whoever wins tonight will end up winning that bracket, play Tennessee.
Florida plays NC State. That is the elimination game later on at 1. And then Texas A&M and Kentucky play at 6 o'clock. Both the Aggies and Wildcats finished in pretty epic ways, including a Kentucky walk-off this weekend.
1-2. That ball is hit deep to left field. Is it enough? It is another walk-off. Mitchell Daly does it. And Kentucky wins it.
5-4 over NC State. I know Tennessee hit the long ball pretty well over the course of this weekend, but you're going to see some lower scores. Chuck, you've talked about this before when you, what do you call it, playing in the bandboxes a little bit, these smaller venues, smaller ballparks, and then you go to Omaha and you play in, and I guess Charles Schwab Field. You have to play a little differently. And we saw some lower scores this weekend, like a couple 3-2 games, 5-4. I don't know how many 11-10 games you're going to see from here on out.
Seen a little bit of everything so far. I mean, we've seen wild games, and again, that Tennessee-Florida State game for the first 5 innings, I mean, it was a question of who was going to settle down first because both teams were, you could tell there were nerves. They were doing things that were completely out of character, particularly on defense. So got a little bit of everything so far. And Tennessee looks awfully good right now. Tennessee played really well last night, beat a good North Carolina team. And, I guess that whoever wins now between Florida State and North Carolina would, have to come back and beat Tennessee twice. And that's the thing that I look at just overall in the College World Series. I don't know if there's a team out there that can beat Tennessee twice.
Yeah, Ryan in Prairie Grove agrees with you how hot they're playing right now. And you kind of wonder, I mean, North Carolina was playing as hot as any team in baseball. All these teams are when they're heading to Omaha in their final 8. But Tennessee just kept it rolling. And it's difficult when they're not just hitting the ball like they have, not necessarily game 1, but they pitched a lot better in game 2.
North Carolina is not as good as Tennessee. I mean, they're good, but they're not as good as Tennessee. And that's why Tennessee won last night.
And it's going to be, I think, the odds are long to avoid an all-SEC championship series. I think that's where we're headed. And it may be those top 2 teams from the East squaring off again.
You started 3-0, and now those ACC teams for the most are then the loser side of the bracket. So it's a tough situation that a lot of the ACC teams find themselves in, and we'll see if they are able to get out of some of these losing spots.
I think Florida State's the best team in Tennessee's side of the bracket. It would not surprise me if Florida State beat Tennessee once. Of course, they got to beat North Carolina first, but I think Florida State's the best team other than Tennessee on that side of the bracket. And hey, Kentucky and A&M will be a great game tonight.
I guess it was I want to say it was the 9th inning of the Tennessee and Florida State game where it looked like the Tennessee guy did not check his swing. Wasn't that going to end the game? And instead they gave him.
Well, I mean that's what everybody that's a Florida State fans talking about. It's what everybody in college baseball was talking about at the end of the game. It was a very, very close call.
Yeah.
I think the umpire choked. That's just my opinion. I think he just flat out choked. I think it was a strike, but it wasn't. And Tennessee won the game, and that happens a lot. So I'm not saying Tennessee doesn't deserve to be there. I just thought that was a strikeout. Yeah. That was my honest opinion.
Well, 50-50 call, would you say?
I thought it was more than that.
Okay.
I don't know.
The bat was a 1.5 past the play.
Yeah, it was.
Bring him up.
But now, here's the thing. There's a lot of misconceptions about what a check swing rule, what constitutes a swing. Has nothing to do with breaking the wrists. Has nothing to do with the bat going past home plate. Those are a couple of common misconceptions. When you read the rule, major league, college, whichever level you want to go to, it's entirely up to the umpire's discretion. There is nothing in there about breaking wrists or bat going past the dish or anything like that. It's solely up to the discretion of the umpire. And he made the ruling that he did not swing. The general consensus is if the bat goes by the hip, it's a strike. And I thought the bat went by the hip. But
the word intent is used
I'm
a lot.
Well, the word intent's not in there either.
No, but I think when the judgment, I think the word intent with a lot of umpires, I hear that.
Well, the intent is to check the swing.
Right.
The intent is to check the swing. And it's entirely a judgment call. And, if you were to use a basketball analogy, the third base umpire ate his whistle. And I get it. I wouldn't have wanted to make that call either.
Yeah. So, man, it's a big weekend around here. Ruskin had his wedding this weekend. Ty, you're getting ready to buy a new home, and Chuck, he's got the help of Weichert Realty, the Griffin Company. I feel safe that Ty's in great hands with this big moment in his life.
Well, I know it is a big moment. It's a big moment for everybody that does it. I don't care if you're 30 years old or 50 years old. Buying and selling a home is a big deal. It's probably the most money you're ever going to spend. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, has been my partner throughout my adult life. And it's nice to have someone when you deal with these types of transactions that you trust, that's been there with you every step of the way, that recalls what it was like 20 years ago the first time you went through it. understand your situation. That's an important factor when it comes to making a real estate deal work. You don't want somebody that's just trying to sell something or get you to buy something because they've got a summer vacation to pay for. You want someone that does this every day, that understands the market, that knows all the ins and outs, someone who can get you from contract to close. That was my experience. I think it'll be your experience too. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
I don't know if you saw one of the other stories that came out. We'll talk about the Texas A&M fans because I want to save some time for that coming up in the second hour, which just makes sense that they're Aggies to begin with. But Tennessee's NIL collective is doing this thing with Rocco's, the Jello shop place, that your fans for the Vols are paying double, $10 per shot, and half that money is going towards the NIL collective.
Does Rocco's do they have the biggest scam going in all of sports?
Those Jello shots are not good either. They're terrible.
And they're $5 each, right?
I like Kevin, the owner. I've met him. He's a nice guy.
They have figured it out. This is the biggest scam in all of sports, right?
They're not good. And
I mean, because they will end up selling 30,000 or more of these over the course of the 15 days or whatever it is.
It's insane. Yeah.
Chuck, this is the greatest thing that anyone ever came up with to make money.
It's pretty smart. And
there's
a lot of markup in liquor. Let's just put it that way. And
I just wonder if
I would
liquor in
imagine
it.
that they've done awfully well on this because those 1 or 2 or 5 shots that one individual's buying, that's not the only thing they're buying when they go in there. So, yeah, they've got it figured.
And as a fan of one of those 8 teams, because we've all been there, you feel obligated to go by and do your part.
I had people sending me money to buy the shots to add up that could make the games. They sent me money. They said, Venmo, this is for Jello shots. And
that's what the owner of Rocco said. We'll do this. They'll be sending people money to come buy our shots.
He was right.
We'll be printing money, and we won't even have to buy the ink.
He called it. It's a
greatest deal, and I mean, unbelievable.
I do think there are some Arkansas fans that make the trek to Omaha every year to take in. I mean, the value of that ticket. I know you much rather your Arkansas Razorbacks to be there, but I'd say you got your money's worth the first handful of games. Again, tonight you'll have a chance to watch an elimination game between Florida and NC State. I say tonight it's at 1:00, and then A&M and Kentucky is the only team that's been, I guess, knocked out so far is Virginia, and we'll find out later on tonight what they'll look like. Chuck, I tend to agree with you. Tennessee's playing as good as any baseball team in the country, and they look tough. A team might get them once. I don't know if a team's going to get them twice, at least in this side of the bracket before the finals.
25,000 people there. Had the biggest, third or fourth biggest crowd they've had. Not all Tennessee people, not all fans of other teams. It's a good game, and the sport's growing, and so far so good.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by WT Equipment. There's a location near you, including on just off the Don Tyson exit, between Don Tyson and the Johnson exit in Springdale. They've got 0% financing offers, bonus discount offers, and huge cash back and free add-ons right now when you buy your next farm implement or piece of equipment or brand new New Holland tractor right now at WT Equipment. In fact, 0% financing for all the way up to 72 months and a free front-end loader on certain models right now. Get by WT Equipment or find a location near you at WTEquip.com.
More of the Morning Rush when we return.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This video is...
Low will drop down low 70s, and then periods of sunshine on Tuesday. A chance of a few showers or storms, highs upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard. Your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 73 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Up and down at Pinehurst for a U.S. Open championship. Bryson DeChambeau now has 2. The second at number 2.
No partying for me, though. I'm no drinking for me. I'll party, but I won't drink. Not my style. Drink all the chocolate milk there is, though.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
Chocolate milk, the drink of champions, and the drink of choice. Bryson DeChambeau, the 2024 U.S. Open winner. It's fun to watch it down the stretch. I know it wasn't fun for Rory McIlroy, who was slumped over the table. I know it was a meme. Anytime nowadays that an athlete is doing something, either in the course of defeat, the course of victory, or if it's just viral and it's funny, people take it and run with it. Now, you had a...
Let me tell you. Rory leaning on that table, his fate no longer in his hands. He looked, and I can tell you this is fact after this weekend being at Derek's wedding, he looked as uncomfortable as rented shoes. I mean, he knew when that ball came up 4 feet short below the hole, he was done. And he looked extremely uncomfortable when they cut the camera to him. As uncomfortable, as I said, as rented shoes.
Rented shoes, yeah. I'm
you ever rented
pretty
shoes,
uncomfortable.
Chuck?
That's pretty uncomfortable.
It was pretty uncomfortable this weekend. Hey, Hot Take Monday, that's one of my hot takes, brought to you by Wheels RV. We're celebrating Dad all June long. You've got more time to get in on Father's Day savings, disconnect from the world, and get back to family and friends with the gift of camping. They've got great exclusive discounts and bonus offers all month long on the entire inventory at Wheels RV. We're talking Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Hey, make Father's Day one he'll never forget. I know it was yesterday, but it's not too late. Get by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale, and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Speaking of uncomfortable, I do need to disclose this, even though I probably shouldn't. I had not realized that I had met Amanda before this weekend, Tommy. When she came up, when her and Derek came up to me, and then obviously they're meeting all the tables and saying hi to everyone. Shook her hand. It's like, hey, I'm Ty. It's like, oh, yeah, we met at the Garth Brooks concert.
Well, it's understandable based on where you were at that night, why you wouldn't remember.
But the whole thing about a wedding is don't take the bride off. And I don't think it made her mad, but it definitely wasn't like a good thing. So I felt bad.
Trust me, as being behind the scenes.
You got to learn how to cover, man. You got to learn how to
I couldn't.
I do remember that now.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I don't know.
I felt like you were dancing around, having a great time. That's always a safe line at a concert.
That is true.
But it was in the parking lot, Ty. I fell into the same problem in my retort. Well, you're even more beautiful now than you were then.
Yeah.
Boom.
See, that's a quick one-liner. I probably should have used that, but it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. But
a wonderful wedding.
It was. I was sulking at the time. Hopefully, we'll have a good Game 5 tonight featuring the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics in Boston. I hope that this game moves on. In fact, it's one of my hot takes is, guys, I think that Dallas is somehow, some way, even though they have not played good in Boston, particularly Kyrie Irving, I think they're going to win tonight. Now, to follow it up, as hot as this is, not only do I think they're going to win tonight, but they're going to lose Game 6 in Dallas. As dumb as that sounds, I have a feeling it's going to happen. As weird as that is, you just never know about NBA Finals games. But I think this series is going to be extended after tonight. I got Dallas winning later on tonight.
You know, you were asking earlier about how, do you keep watching college baseball after your team's out, after the Razorbacks are eliminated? I do. But the NBA is a sport where when my team's done, I'm done.
You're done.
This has been a terrible series in terms of competition, number one. They took 2 weeks off before they played it, and everybody lost the interest anyway.
Yep.
And Boston's just a whole lot better than Dallas. Now, you may be right. Dallas may win this game, but I wouldn't bet a nickel on it.
I will say it was cool on Game 4, which was a blowout loss and not a game I would say that just draw a lot of attention because Dallas just smacked him. Daniel Gafford was mic'd up.
No! Sit him down! Sit him down! Ah! And one! Everything. I'm talking backside. Luka, play up. Luka, invert it. Low man!
Chuck, I realize that he's not the biggest star in the series, but there's been a lot of national attention that's been paid to Daniel these last few weeks, and I love it because he seems like a kid that you can root for, not just because he's a Razorback, but just based on some of the comments that he's made these last few weeks.
Well, the best thing that's happened to Daniel Gafford was being traded from Washington to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing all this at Washington. He was just playing on a bad team, and nobody knew what he was doing because they didn't ever win. Now, I have to say this, though, and I'm pulling for the Mavericks. They act like they won Game 7.
Yeah.
I mean, they're down 3-1. This is not uncommon for the team that's down 3-0 to just beat the pants off the team that's up 3-0 in Game 4 and avoid the sweep. I'm not a hockey fan, but the Florida Panthers are about to win the Stanley Cup. They went up 3-0 on Edmonton, and Edmonton just beat them, I think, 6-1 in Game 4. Well, now, does that mean that, the Florida Panthers aren't going to win the Stanley Cup? No. Does Dallas win in Game 4 mean Boston's not going to win the series? Absolutely not. So, I mean, it's nice, I guess, to have them win. As I say, I was pulling for them, but they have no chance to win this series.
And I think it's like we said with college baseball. So we still got college baseball. For now, we've still got the NBA Finals. We just had the U.S. Open this weekend, but I mean, I'm also just rooting for it to give us something to talk about because we'll have football to talk about for the next 70-plus days, but we don't have anything like concrete in front of us once the College World Series concludes.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all banked on having some Razorback baseball to talk about till at least this point, and obviously
they just ruined it for everybody.
Exactly. Didn't Dave Van Horn know our show content depended on their success? How dare he?
We got to get that runner moved up. I'm going to ruin their show for 2 months.
They did. Speaking of Dave, there was
you couldn't ruin it anymore, but you made the challenge a little steeper every morning.
Yeah, they so baseball got 2 commits over the weekend, and football team got another 2 commits. I'm trying to find these real quick, but yeah, they had some guys that just because we were waiting on, like Vahiba's little brother committed. He's from BYU, and I think a kid from Milwaukee, and there's one other kid that had commit, and then football got a defensive lineman out of Georgia, and then a kid out of Texas that are both on the defensive line. So you had 4 recruiting stories that came out.
And you've clearly followed it closer than I have because the weekend was a little busy, but I still don't think has anyone entered the portal for baseball? I mean, what update me on that? I should know, but I don't. But I think that's an important point in this conversation, Chuck, is it's not like there's a mass exodus, that you expect leaving other teams. That doesn't happen with baseball.
Well, because there's only, 14 or 15 other teams that you're competing with for that. You don't see, for example, a baseball player, I'm going to transfer out and go to Colorado like you do in football. The good players are playing at the elite SEC programs, which means if they transfer out, it's because they're not playing and they're going to a smaller place to get to play. And you weren't going to play those guys anyway. Good players are going to stay because, frankly, I mean, what are they going to do? Go transfer to Tennessee or go transfer to somewhere else? I mean, I think you're going to generally keep the good players that you have. Now, if you look at this closely, the guys that they've gotten in from the portal, look at the stolen bases. Look at the ability to run. All the things we talked about when they lost in the regional, the balance to the lineup, the way they're addressing that, just like Dave said they would.
All right. We'll get back to this and more in your Morning Rush Daily Questions coming up. We're brought to you by the Fence Man, the company we trust with anything involving fencing, gates, powered automatic gates. If you need a custom project done, they have a welding shop that can put custom ornamental iron together. They know how to install the openers where you can open and close from your phone, a garage door type opener. They've got controlled access also figured out with the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
We love to criticize Texas A&M Aggies on this program. We're going to do that coming up. There were two fans that stood out amongst the many, and we'll tell you why next.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. If you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Our Morning Rush Daily Question, brought to you by Red River Dodge, will center around the U.S. Open and how it finished yesterday. And the question is pretty straightforward. Did Bryson DeChambeau win the U.S. Open, or did Rory McIlroy lose it? I think it's a matter of perspective, and you could argue either side. Ty, I'll start with you. Did Rory lose this thing, or did Bryson DeChambeau win the U.S. Open?
So I think you and I were talking this morning before the show how, again, Rory started at -4 that day. Bryson was at -7. They finished -6 and -5. But if you look during the course of how Rory came on, got hot, Bryson was wavering a little bit with just, I don't know how he won, honestly, with all the bad drives he had, but somehow he escaped despite that, even that bunker shot. I don't know how you come away with saying that Bryson won it when Rory indeed lost it. And I think why that's the case is because you almost have to combine not just this event, but what's happened for him over the course of the last 10 years. I know that's not fair to him, but that's what most people do. What do we talk about? First thing off the bat this morning, the drought. Not necessarily, Bryson was unbelievable. We talked about how Rory's drought continues. That's kind of the perspective I have.
Chuck?
There's certainly the fan narrative that that's the narrative that, Rory can't win a major anymore. I think Bryson won it with a bunker shot. He hit a bad drive. He, popped it across the fairway or, dribbled it across the fairway, got it into the bunker. I think he won it when he hit the bunker shot. How many people really thought Bryson was going to par that hole?
Not
after
me.
that tee shot?
Not me.
I thought we were going to a playoff, and I think most people did. So Bryson won the tournament with that bunker shot, despite all the things that happened. I mean, Bryson, he did not improve his overall score yesterday, and Rory did. Rory made it a match with that birdie on 1. I mean, you could tell right away he was in it to win it. And so I would say Bryson won it.
I would tend to agree based on the bunker shot, but also particularly down the back 9, time after time. And I don't know why he kept pulling driver, because that's how Bryson DeChambeau does it. But he couldn't find a fairway to save his life. And
they're professional golfers.
Yeah.
When we hit it out of the fairway, it's disaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When a professional golfer hits it out of the fairway, they're trying to figure out a way to save par, and a lot of times they can.
The 72nd hole was, feet from being disaster. I mean, he barely had an angle, and he'd have gotten relief maybe if he'd have went a little further and had line of sight relief. But I tend to agree with you, Chuck, that bunker shot changed my way of thinking on it, because up until that point, Rory's 2 short missed putts. And I don't think we value how difficult that putt on the 72nd for Rory
brutal.
is. Above the hole, breaking across.
Television does not do it justice on the up and down stuff.
And then you add the pressure of, the U.S. Open's on the line here. I just don't think we really understand. Even those listening that play golf weekly don't understand the pressure of that moment coupled with the difficulty of that putting line. So I tend to agree. Bryson won it, but this one's going to haunt Rory for a long, long time.
Yeah, I do want to go back. Chuck, you were dead on about the sand shot, because that was wonderful.
Good contacts.
Goes DeChambeau, and he's popped up.
See,
the key words in that were right below the hole.
Yes, sir.
Rory was above the hole.
Mm-hmm.
If you're scoring in professional golf, if you're trying to score, you got to keep the ball below the hole, because that way you can make a run at it, even if it's a long putt. But the key there that's what made the bunker shot perfect, was it didn't go past the hole.
And in that situation, let's say he just hits a marginal sand shot out of the bunker. Is there really any belief that he can even save bogey the way those greens are?
No, he would have saved bogey if he'd gotten it relatively close. I think he would have saved bogey. I think they'd have gone to a playoff.
Yeah, but I was settled in for the playoff and not.
I was too. Everybody was,
yeah.
And that's why I say he won it right there.
And I don't think TV or the commentators in this case really did justice to the difficulty and the length of that bunker shot. I think one of the hardest shots in golf is the Not the fairway bunker shot where you put a different club on it, but that lengthy, long 50-yard plus greenside bunker shot to another level of the green. I know these guys are pros, but that's still a difficult shot.
Two things would have happened. One of two things would have happened if the average guy, myself included, had been hitting that shot. Either one, it wouldn't have made it out of the bunker, or I'd have hit it thin and it had gone over the clubhouse. One of those two things would have happened. And
right in the forehead.
You know, for him to hit that shot in the manner in which he did, leave it below the hole, that was a perfect bunker shot. In a world where perfect is overused, that was a perfect bunker shot.
All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. It is brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
So sometimes in sports, fans that are in attendance at any event go too far. And Arkansas fans are not immune to this. I mean, I don't think anything like this has happened. For those that don't know, tragedy occurred for the Florida baseball team recently when their bat boy by the name of Brody Reinhardt was murdered by his actually own father, of all things, him and his brother. Apparently, according to reports, his dad just lost his job, going through a divorce, and doesn't excuse, obviously, what he did. But two Texas A&M fans were yelling obscenities and other things towards the Florida dugout this weekend during the course of A&M's 3-2 win over the Gators. And they were forcibly removed by security. And then after the fact, when it kind of found out when the details came out, the Omaha Police Department Association says heckling an opposing baseball team about the tragic death of their bat boy is unacceptable. Glad our officers and security threw this dude out at Charles Schwab Field. You are no longer welcome in the city, and you shall be banned from life for future College World Series events. I think what was so distasteful to me is they, again, are doing it in the midst of this, and then as they're walking up, they're doing like the gig-em to all the fans, and yet you watch the Texas A&M fans as these guys are leaving, they're like ashamed as these guys are getting escorted all the ballpark, which I'll commend them for. But guys, that was awful this weekend.
You know, they caught it live on ESPN. I was watching the game, and I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that their fans were right there at the dugout. They happened to do it just directly above the photo well. And so that's why there's all the video and all the still shots, and it's why ESPN went to it on the telecast as it was happening and showed them being escorted out. It's because all the photographers were like 2 feet away from them when they were doing it. I don't know what precipitated all this. I have no idea. That was the statement that you read was from the police union, their police officers association. It wasn't from the department itself. So it's not really an official statement of the department. It's an official statement of their police association, which is their union of officers. I'm not disagreeing with it at all, just for the record. But it was just really weird the way it all went down. And, of course, I'm sure alcohol had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, you mentioned the ESPN. Let's just go listen to kind of in what happened.
Just one challenge. So do you want to burn or risk burning your second and last one in the second?
He's out.
I think he's out.
Yeah, he is out. What's going on at the dugout?
Yeah, now there's some barking. Whoa. That's the Florida dugout, right on the outskirts of it. And security personnel steps in. So hopefully that situation handled. But it doesn't appear like we are getting a challenge.
No. Almost like they lost the attention over whether they should even challenge the play.
It's very rare, and you kind of mentioned where they were, Chuck. It's very rare that you have ESPN or any network for that matter during the course of a baseball game that intentionally singles out a fan, but evidently there was enough of a ruckus where you had, it looked like Kevin O'Sullivan kind of looking at him. I don't know if he said anything to him, but you could
tell. They crossed the line. I mean, you've heard it all. If you've coached, you've played, you've reffed, Chuck, you've sat at the table long enough. You've heard every insult. You've heard every phrase. You've heard it all, Chuck, just like I have being out on that floor. But whatever they said about the tragic death of that crosses the line. And those are the things that grab your attention, even in the focus of the moment of playing or broadcasting a fish. That's to me, I wasn't there, but that's my opinion of what happened, having been nearby moments like that, where someone says something so egregious, so across the line, it captures all of your attention, Chuck.
Most of the time when something like that happens, it's the fans that police it. They're the ones that draw attention to the person and say, get this guy out of here. And that's kind of what happened there. I mean, if you watch the video of it, and I mean, we played the audio there, you've really got to see it to get the full appreciation for it. It was obvious that, they had drawn the attention of other people. And when security finally got there, there was no question those guys were out. And, look, they were drunk. I mean, let's just be honest. They were drunk. And I'm sure that's what happened.
And even Jim Schlossnagle having to apologize. I mean, if you're a coach in that situation, credit to him for, again, doing that. But that's not his realm of responsibility.
Some people will say anything. Some people feel like the fact that they've bought a ticket or paid whatever it is they have to pay to be there entitles them to say whatever they want. And a lot of times that's true. You get away with saying lots of things that if somebody was standing right in front of you, you'd never say because you're going to take a punch in the mouth. But people feel entitled to do that, and sometimes they do cross the line. Lots of times they cross the line and nothing happens. But that time they crossed the line, as you said, so egregiously, it was like, well, we got to do something about these people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I'm glad they did.
And that's what runs it for the rest of us that just want to go and enjoy the games. It's becoming increasingly more difficult to enjoy games, I feel like, when I go to a game, buy a ticket, sit in the stands, because there's always seemingly seated somewhere nearby the idiot that...
Well, you have the difference for you, and you always talk about that, and you're 100% right, especially on Father's Day weekend of all things. This doesn't bother me because I don't have kids around, and I've heard, like, maybe I haven't heard it all like Chuck has, being on the sidelines or whatever, but I've heard some egregious thing being said for fans. That doesn't bother me. But as a father...
Because it's not being said to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just...
Because you're the one saying it. I mean...
whoa.
Yeah, well, that's true.
My point is that when you're on that side of the fence, it's easy to not be bothered by it.
But
because it's not directed at you.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, Arkansas-Alabama game, kids not there. Me and Laura and another couple went to the game, and it was fans all around us wanting to argue and nearly come to blows with each other over coaching strategies. I mean, are you kidding me? Or every down they're holding, or the offensive coordinator's an idiot, or everybody needs to be. They ruin the experience, and that's what people don't realize. You're not just having your fun; you're ruining the day in many cases over the course of 3+ hours for everyone around you.
It all feeds off itself. The price of admission, all the things, everything feeds off itself. Price of tickets, the tailgating, the consumption of alcohol, and it all feeds off itself. Every one of those things feeds off the other, and that ends up too often in situations like what we saw at the College World Series. But those guys obviously went to a level that most people don't go to, and they're famous.
Well,
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
They're famous.
I'll say, you wonder why premium seats cost so much? I think there's as much a reason that people want the premium seat, not just to have their own buffet and booze, but to get away from the idiots that act like many do in the stands now. I mean, when you go to suites and the rare occasion you don't encounter this type of fan behavior.
Well, I'm not going to blame the commoners because I've seen some pretty bad stuff in the expensive seats too. But there's a point to be made that that's why some ballparks have family sections. Yeah. That's because people are trying to get away from that. Your point in that regard is very well made.
JT in Hot Springs, guys, just said people are idiots and ruin everything. Yeah. He texted that in on him.
Well, just generally speaking, we all feel, entitled to be the worst version of ourselves when we pay a whole bunch of money and go to a ball game. I mean, it's just how we are. I'm not casting stones. I'm just saying that for whatever reason, we have given ourselves permission to be at our absolute worst when we go to a ball game.
But if you walked into the bank on a Monday morning and act that way towards the performance of the loan officer, how long would it take the city police to be down there and drag you out?
How much of an interest rate are they?
Look at you fill out that form.
If you lose 10 pounds, you could get from that office to the other one a lot quicker. I mean, all this stuff.
If you act that way,
you'd never get away with it.
Exactly. So, I mean, I get it, but 98% of the entertainment when you go to a game should be on the court or the field, not in the stands.
Maybe those A&M fans should have been taking in chocolate milk like Bryson this weekend instead of whatever they were drinking.
But, anyway, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
Oh, you are exactly right. So that's what happened in Omaha, Nebraska this weekend. Between that, there have been plenty of great games. That kind of overshadowed, to a certain extent, the great games that we did have. And hopefully tonight and moving forward, we have some other good games continuing on in college baseball. Chuck, you mentioned a phrase there, feeding off one another. That has been something that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are attached at the hip for, and will probably be for the majority of their career, which I think is good. For those that...
It's not Bird and Magic, but it's similar.
No, yeah.
Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali.
That's the comparison. But you could make a case. It's the most talked about. I mean, legitimately, think about this. This is a hot take on Hot Take Monday, but is there a more talked about rivalry right now in sports than those two? And you made the case last week, Tommy, that, Caitlin Clark is one of the most popular, if not the most popular athlete in America. I want you to think about this. And I know it's June 17th, so we're not in the midst of football season. We're not in the midst of basketball season. But what are we talking about in terms of rivalry? We're talking about the hatred, the animosity between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And I like it. I personally love it. And I thought, again, some of you have seen this play, some of you haven't. There was a foul that ended up being upgraded a flagrant one between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Let's just go back to that play real quick that went down.
Three Sky players coming over. Now the official is pointing to his head here, and I think they're going to look at this.
So she gets whacked. I'm going to be honest. I've watched basketball a lot of times. Angel's going for the ball and just hits Clark's head. It wasn't a thing. She didn't rear back and try and drill her in the face. She's going for the ball. You look at her eyes and she's looking up and she just hits her head. But of course, everyone's making a big deal about this because it's those two being involved. I didn't think there was anything malicious. She was upgraded to a flagrant one. Whatever, they both talked about it after. We'll get into that in a sec. But guys, this legitimately is the biggest rivalry in sports right now. There's not a more talked about rivalry.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far.
But
it's not the biggest rivalry in sports.
I don't think
the landscape right now.
Way off.
Like when you think about
what people are talking
and again,
about
in the summer, we have to almost like where we're at right now.
Put it in context.
Because once football resumes, it's going to be Michigan, Ohio State, it'll be Auburn, Alabama. There'll be a quarterback competition. Then you go to basketball. It'll be Kentucky and Arkansas again.
More people talk about this than the Yankees and the Red
Sox. Who do
they
play for, and what are their records?
The Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky. They're both under 500. I can't tell you the exact record.
My point is that the WNBA is trying to become a talking point just on a individual rivalry. That will not last. I'm already bored by it. I got to be honest. What happened between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese over the weekend was way, way, way down on my list. That's why I say, to say it's the biggest rivalry in sports, well, how come we weren't watching that instead of the end of the U.S. Open? How come we weren't watching that instead of the College World Series? All we watched is the highlight. The only reason we watched the highlights because there was a story about how Angel Reese whacked her on the head. This is not the way that they're going to build staying power within the WNBA. This is a little petty fight that they've got going on internally. And you don't build a league by having a bunch of middle-aged men say, hey, man, did you see those girls fighting in that basketball game? That's not how you build a league. And this is, yes, it's a rivalry. I agree it's a rivalry, and it's interesting. They're two, particularly Angel Reese. I mean, she's a dynamic personality. And Caitlin Clark's the face of women's basketball. But they got to do more than just hang their hat on somebody whacking Caitlin Clark and saying, isn't that terrible? That's kind of been the story for the WNBA the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they got to move on from that. But I agree with you, Ty. I don't think it was a flavor.
Here's
I
the
agree
thing.
with you on that.
I want to before we move on. I want to say this real quick.
right.
So you mentioned kind of the middle, trying to get middle-aged men involved, which is the goal of not just that, but to grow the sport. And you grew that by sucking in the male audience. If that had happened like during the course of a male game, no one. It's not that big of a deal because it happens. We almost like coddled them to a certain extent. It's like, oh my gosh, look at the ladies, look at them, look at the physicality. It's almost too much. We're almost like, no, it's just basketball. It is an everyday occurrence when we watch male basketball. But anytime it happens to the women's side of things, it's like, oh my gosh, the dire consequences. Oh my gosh, the craziness.
My point is, this is the only reason we're talking about it. That's the only reason we're talking about it. My guess would be when the overnight television ratings come out later today, that ball game, wherever it was televised, if it was televised, I have no idea. It's going to be near the bottom. It's going to be near the bottom. And I don't know, they've released a lot of figures of late about WNBA lost $50 million last year.
Mm-hmm.
And despite the unprecedented popularity of women's basketball, it lost $50 million. So they're going to have to find a way to make the sport, make women's basketball have staying power, not just this rivalry between these two individuals. I just think they got to do more. I think this is going to fade quickly is what I'm saying. Yeah. I guess we'll find out. Hey, it's hot. I know that. If you're a Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric customer, you're not worried because you've had the Plant Protection Program, and they've been to your home, and they've done their preventative maintenance, and you've got peace of mind. Regardless of how hot it gets this week, regardless of how hot it gets in July and August, if there is a problem, they're going to be there to fix it. But I'll bet there's not, because they've already done their preventative maintenance. That's the security of the Plant Protection Program with Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. And the peace of mind, regardless of the season, is what you get when you've got that. Because whether it's the summer, whether it's the winter, whether it's the season where you're using both your heater and your AC in the same day, Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric's got you covered. They're locally owned, they're locally operated, professional people, professional service, and you can schedule your appointment at gopascal.com.
So Cal had his father-son camp this weekend, and of course it was Father's Day weekend, so I know a lot of you got to celebrate with your son, your daughter, grandkid, grandson, whatever the case may be. But guys, evidently this was a huge success this weekend. I don't know if y'all saw the picture. We had a Morning Rush listener that reached out to me and said he had a lot of fun with that. And they announced, I know, some stuff we'll get into in regards to the finalization of the staff that Cal has, but apparently it was a lot of fun Bud Walton Arena this weekend.
I had some family that took part in that.
Heck yeah.
I think everybody had a great time. From what I understand, Cal was very involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just to all those kids getting a chance to see and meet some of the players and talk with Cal, that must have been something that was pretty fun for them this weekend.
What a memory that probably is. Speaking of memories, you'll make memories that'll never fade away when you get your new RV from Wheels RV. It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley, the entire inventory on sale and exclusive discounts all month long for Father's Day. Get by Wheels RV and start making memories and start your journey to endless summer fun. And we're also brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. I've received a few pictures already this morning from some of y'all out there listening that went trout fishing over the weekend. Some of you went to Gaston's, and you had that first-class time every time, like you can always expect at Gaston's White River Resort. I was talking with one of them on the on our text line earlier, and just thanking us for letting them know about Gaston's. And they chose Gaston's this weekend just for that. We appreciate it. Start making memories this summer, and you can do it now with a phone call to 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
All the road hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
Helping Isaiah get to the NBA.
I feel like whenever you're pushed for so long and, so hard throughout your life, nothing happens as a surprise anymore. No matter what you see, you've been through it all. And I think that just kind of helps with not being shocked, no matter the situation that you're in. Just being battle tested, I think that's what it was. I was battle tested at a young age. And so making it to each and every step of the way, nothing surprised me. I was ready for it all, and I was ready to take it down.
This is a guy who had, I think, a career best 42% three-point shooting for his season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Got his first official playoff start with them this year, and guys really excelled as a Razorback on and off the court. And I think he was in year 4 this year, if I remember that right.
I think he's involved in a great situation with Oklahoma City. Chuck, you brought up that youth movement. Not drafted there, but not drafted by the Thunder, but to end up there. We were talking before the show, the odds of 2 guys from the same high school that weren't in the same class to end up at the same college and then to end up on the same NBA team is long odds. And I like the future if they can keep all these guys together.
Yeah, I don't know what people's contract situations will be as they move forward. I mean, there's obviously the business of basketball. There's a business of pro sports, and rosters certainly are not immune from that. I have no idea, how it's going to progress in terms of that organization. But they've got a great collection of players, and they're young and they're talented. And if they can keep SGA and Holmgren continues to progress, I mean, that's a team that, that's a team that can win a lot of games. And they won a lot of games this year. They just weren't quite playoff ready yet. But there's a lot of young talent on that team for sure.
Isaiah has a team option for this upcoming season, hoping Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder pick him up after what he was able to help the team do this year.
Well, you hope, too, that he can get into the best situation for him. Philadelphia, for example, was not the best situation for him. And so I think from the outside looking in, he's in a great spot. But there's always the business of basketball when you get to this level. And I'm just not sure what their plans are in that regard. But he's doing great right now. He just needs to enjoy every second.
You mentioned situation. Daniel Gafford finds himself in a much better situation in Dallas, Texas than he did out east in Washington, and has made the most of it, including a solid Game 5.
Step back, shot blocked by Gafford on a 3-point attempt. And then a loose ball foul on Tatum.
I say Game 5, Game 4, where he had 7 points, couple rebounds, a block that you just heard on Jason Tatum assist. They just demolished the Boston Celtics in Game 4. Maybe I'm making too much out of it. Maybe they ultimately get eliminated tonight at 7:30. It is my hot take this morning that Dallas wins tonight and yet loses back in Dallas. And maybe that's more of a hope. I think that's my heart.
Here's my
rather
hot
than
take.
my head.
The Celtics win the series.
Oh, wow.
That's my hot take.
That's your hot take. Scalding hot. Scalding hot this
Way
morning.
out on the lim.
Yeah. For Daniel.
That makes as much sense as Ty saying the Mavericks have a chance.
No, it makes more sense.
Chuck, I will say this. If we would have hit the Ty Richardson prop bet during our Fitzman Friday picks on Friday, we won a lot of money. Jordan Walsh ended up playing.
The key word there was if.
Yeah. We did not, none of us, even though I made the prop plus 2,000, Jordan, none of us decided.
And I normally bet all of your opinions. Whatever you say, I normally go right with it.
You'd be a lot richer if you had, and that wasn't sarcasm coming from
Tommy's about to lose his house, man. He's been betting your picks all fall and all winter. He's broke.
Know any banks doing a fourth mortgage? You know any of them?
Sterling, I am excited. We were talking about getting closer to football season. I am excited to hear more of Sterling's upcoming football picks. I'm going to guess that Derek.
Sterling's pretty good tout.
Yeah, he's he was hitting, like 60-something% last time I checked?
Big number.
Yeah. A couple other things. Arkansas's women's track and field team, they're going to celebrate their championship later on today at John McDonald Field at 4 o'clock. Flag 51 is going to be raised, celebrating the 51 national championships between the two programs. Again, we had Chris Johnson on with us last week. Really appreciate Coach giving us some time after they win both the indoor and outdoor. A couple other notes real quick. Football got a couple commits. Keandre Johnson, defensive player out of Texas on the D-line, and then also Jaquin Madison from Georgia. And then the baseball team, we kind of alluded to this earlier, Chuck. Charles Davalon and Carson Hansen have both committed the Razorbacks. One's from Florida Gulf Coast, one's from Milwaukee. You look at their stats, a lot of steals, a lot of doubles. These are some guys with some wheels, and kind of like you were talking about earlier, maybe fits into more of the mold that Dave was talking about directly after the season.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about every player on the team. We're talking about, and he talked about it, how we've got to have more balance within the lineup. We got to have some guys who can run to go with the guys who can get it out of the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like these guys fit that mold.
And then finally, the basketball team has announced officially some hires: James Bruiser Flint, Chris Woolard, Lunitha Pryor, Kevin Buddy, Kevin Gallagher, and then I think there's one more that have been officially announced for Cal staff. Kind of knew about some of these prior to, but they've been made official as of this weekend.
Yeah, they've all been working for a while.
Yeah.
They've all been here for a while.
Yeah. Not a lot of breaking news there. I just kind of wonder about the strategy of waiting so long to get around to making it official with a
got
press
something
release.
to do with the state calendar and where we are in the fiscal year. I would imagine. I'm just guessing, but I've got to believe it's got something to do with that. I mean, this is contract month. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, so Father's Day weekend. Hopefully everyone had a good Father's Day weekend. I'm kind of surprised, Tommy, you did not play golf. You took in a lot of golf, but is that just
I mean, it's the day for family. We went to the wedding Saturday night, celebrated Derek and Amanda, and then that was a late night, so I stayed in Northwest Arkansas, and then wanted to spend time with the kids and the family. And we went over to Laura's parents and watched golf. So I almost wanted to watch golf more so than play golf yesterday. So.
I think most of the playing of golf yesterday was twilight. Everyone watched the U.S. Open, and if they were going to play, they went out and got in a quick 9 after it was over.
Yeah, and I went and putted a little bit. Does that count for anything?
Yeah, you said you went with the kiddos a little bit.
Yeah,
have you
putting green?
Got Dylan locked into golf at all? Have you pushed him to that?
Not a bit. And based on the putting performance, we got some work to do.
It's not coming anytime soon. But
we'll
hopefully everyone had a good Father's Day weekend. I did want to bring this up. Nick Castellanos is always going to be tied to a certain call, the one that I think most people know.
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
That will always be funny to me, not what was said prior to, but that specific call. Guys, apparently there is a writer by the name of Tim Kelly who covers the Philadelphia Phillies. One of his foul balls went up to the press box and broke his laptop. Like, I know you were having a little laptop issues earlier, but the foul ball came up to the press box and shattered his laptop.
You ever had a ball come back to the booth and get in the booth, Chuck?
In all my years of doing that never happened.
Yeah.
I had one come into the booth right next to us, but no, it never came into the booth.
Think
I wasn't ready though.
Yeah.
I was ready to duck.
What did Harry Carey that kept the fishing net? He kept the one and he'd try to catch them. So
that's awesome.
There's a great shot of John Sterling, the Yankees' longtime announcer, a foul ball coming back here, and you see it hit the desk and hit him and knock his glasses off.
Yeah, about hit him in the face, yeah. So
he did, yeah.
That wasn't that long ago, if I remember right. Hey, do you want to spruce up your existing home or start from the ground up and get your dream home? Either way, check Farm Credit of Western Arkansas first before you get started. Find out why for more than 100 years, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas has helped local families just like yours make their dream homes come true. Visit myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com or any of their 25 locations today and get started on your dream home.
All right, so the U.S. Open, we were talking about it throughout the morning. How did you feel Bryson DeChambeau winning the thing? I know that it was significant for him, not only because it was a major, but because his dad passing away a couple years ago, and it kind of an ode to Payne Sewer. So we'll talk about that. Plus, should Dallas play Dak Prescott? That will be discussed next.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Ty, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's right. Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. And that's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook Dad. thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring lie-angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name-brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, a chance of a few isolated showers or thunderstorms today. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be right around the upper 80s. Clear to partly cloudy later on tonight, and overnight low will drop down low 70s, and then periods of sunshine on Tuesday. A chance of a few showers or storms, highs upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 73 days.
Up and down at Pinehurst for a U.S. Open championship. Bryson DeChambeau now has 2. The second at number 2.
No partying for me, though. I'm no drinking for me. I'll party, but I won't drink. Not my style. Drink all the chocolate milk there is, though.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
So it's hour number 3 here in the Morning Rush of a Hot Take Monday. And Tommy, I thought you made a good point earlier. I wanted the matchup between Rory McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau to continue. And yet DeChambeau decided, no, I'm going to end it on 18 right here. An incredible finish to a solid event at Pinehurst number 2. We're going to talk about that more coming up. Chuck, you used the term during the break, clutch. I think there's something interesting that you found that really illustrates what exactly Bryson was able to accomplish this weekend, specifically on hole 18.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. It was Father's Day weekend, and we're celebrating fathers and dad all month long with the gift of camping, the gift of the outdoors, the gift of family and friends. Right now, exclusive discounts and bonus offers on the entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. So make Father's Day one he'll never forget. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's, sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
So I was playing yesterday, really early before the conclusion of Bryson DeChambeau knocking it off and getting the whole thing. I watched a guy hit a chip in off 17 in the hole we were playing that basically won their match. Chuck, you had found something during the break that just Bryson shot, how difficult it actually was.
How long the odds really were.
What the percentages on what he was able to do, man.
There's a guy named Lou Stagner who's a golf data guy. You know, he throws everything into the computer and comes up with the numbers. Golf Digest uses him a lot. Golf Digest tweeted out the odds of hitting that 55-yard shot within 4 feet He hit it within 3 feet 11 inches. The odds of hitting it within 4 feet were minus 1.7%. So one could certainly argue that that's among the greatest clutch shots of all time.
And, it's how that ended up was, I don't know exactly reminiscent, but it's kind of similar to what happened in 1999. You had a young Phil Mickelson going up against Payne Stewart, another SMU alone. If you remember, a lot of you do, what ended up happening at that final shot? So he hits a clutch putt to seal the deal. No playoff at the time. Tommy, you were asking earlier, 99 would have gone into Monday.
Yeah.
They would have played into Monday.
Yeah.
This, I guess, would have just moved on to a playoff.
Well, two-hole in 2018 they changed it. It's a 2-hole playoff aggregate score. But yes, the last one I remember, and I think it's the last one that occurred, was Tiger and Rocco Mediate went to an 18-hole playoff. But it was very rare and the most unique way to decide a champion in sports. But they would not have had an 18-hole playoff had they ended up tied.
You're right.
It'd have been 2-hole playoff.
Yeah. And so, again, it concludes. Rory walks off, doesn't speak with the media, and I know he's frustrated about that. You made a good point earlier. You wish you would have had that little box of Rory.
Well, I that's the only thing NBC, I thought NBC's golf coverage is phenomenal, but I wanted to see in real time as Bryson hit the shot out of the bunker, a little box up in the corner with Rory's immediate reaction. I wanted to see that on the putt, and they showed it later. They had the video of it, but as he was leaning over that table in the scores room. But that's what I wanted in that moment. I wanted the side by side almost.
Didn't get it.
That's fine.
Yeah. Then again, that's kind of under the wood. But like the term clutch, like that was a clutch shot or whatever. I kind of wanted to tie that in to the possibility of Dak Prescott signing in with the Dallas Cowboys. We saw again Bryson do something that a lot of golfers can't do.
I want to hear how you're going to tie this together.
I'm very interested in this segue.
You've piqued my interest.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. Like JT in Hot Springs already texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline saying Dak is not a franchise quarterback and that he's not clutch or whatever.
Okay.
My thought is in this upcoming season, you don't pay Dak Prescott, you pay CeeDee Lamb, pay Micah Parsons, add some other pieces. They have not spent or done a lot of money this offseason. I think Dallas is like 32nd, in fact, in the NFL. And you just wonder if there's any clutchness to Dak Prescott or if it's a facade, right? Because we see what he does in the regular season. He's really, really good. This is a team that's been at the top of the NFC East or close near the top for the last couple of years. He puts up these unreal numbers, but there are questions that remain to be seen, and rightfully so. If he's clutch, can he do it in a clutch situation? So far, the answer has been no, and that's why
clutch is the tie-in. The difference is Dak can't do it when you get to playoff time. Bryson DeChambeau's now done it twice in the U.S. Open, and
when it matters
the most. So there's one thing, Chuck, to have the numbers in the regular season in another event or whatever. It's a whole other thing when you go to the biggest events or the biggest moments in your sport and you come through with the biggest play.
And the reason I bring this up is because Trevor Lawrence got paid $275 million, 142 of it's fully guarantees, basically making $55 a year. So when that happens, when you see a big quarterback signing, Dallas Cowboy fans and really the NFL media questions, what are Jerry and Steven going to do with their quarterback, Dak Prescott? And he's talked about, we want to get a deal done, blah, blah, blah. It hasn't happened just yet. I don't think you can sign him to a long-term big fat contract. You got to make him play out the year. He's got to show you in these upcoming NFL playoffs, assuming that Dallas makes it, that he has a clutch gene, which he has not shown you in his career, unfortunately.
Wait. I just got to stop all this. Golf's an individual sport. Football's a team sport. There's no comparison. You can't play defense in golf. You don't have guys chasing. Nobody was like bull rushing Bryson DeChambeau before he hit that bunker shot. You can't compare an individual sport with a team sport. Dak can only control what Dak can control. If you're a golfer, you've got the ability to control everything out there. You can't control how the other guy plays, but you can control how you play. So, clutch is a term that is used and maybe overused when it comes to sports. But you can't compare a quarterback in a National Football League environment where you've got 10 other guys on your side and 11 on the other. I don't think that's comparable to an individual playing golf.
Well, Jackie agrees with you. He says no one can be clutch when the defense gives up 30+, and I know that has been an issue from time to time in Dallas. I just think there have been segments of the NFL playoffs where Dak, like you, and I agree, you can.
I'm not arguing with your points on Dak. I'm just saying that golf and football are different. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I don't know if Dak, I've said many times, I'm not sure Dak's the guy to lead you to the promised land, but I don't know that you can tie it into golf.
You wondered how he was going to tie it all together. Now you know.
I know. Hey, let me talk to you about Sawyer's for just a second, guys, before we go on. If you've got work, if you've got a project planned outside your home, Sawyer's Sunrooms. And really, that really doesn't tell the whole story. Our friend Buzz Sawyer's been doing this since about 1990, if I'm right on that. And if it involves the outside of your home, they can do it. Whether it's a sunroom, decorative concrete. I like those pavers. They got all kinds of stuff that they can do outside your home. Sawyers-sunrooms.com is the web address. They got good ideas. Sometimes you want to do a project, but you're not sure exactly what you want to do. You need some ideas. They've got them right there. They're insured, they're bonded, and you'll be very happy with what they do. And again, you can check out the work that they've done, learn a little bit more about them. You can log on to Sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Ozark Bob texting in on the McLarty Dana hotline said that he thinks Jerry Jones will overpay for the coverage. I'm assuming he's talking about Dak Prescott. I am curious if there is a deal.
I want C.D. Lamb taken care of before we start worrying about Dak.
That combo was lethal this season. Didn't necessarily pan out in the. It's just difficult because I think San Francisco is head and shoulders more talented than virtually everyone else in the NFC. When they get to the Super Bowl, I don't know if they have the quarterback to necessarily get them over the top, but that roster compared to Dallas is just night and day. And I think we saw it in the playoffs once again for them when it comes to that matchup and whatnot. Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, hey, on that note, shouldn't Micah Parsons also be taken care of with a long-term deal? I mean, I'm going to point that out because I think he's set to make like 2 point something this year.
That's it?
And that's the deal he's on. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, players hold out all the time and don't come to camp. Deals are torn up and redone. Chuck, that's a player that as much as anything, you're talking about the defense giving up too much, Micah Parsons has to be a player that Jerry needs to get signed sooner rather than later.
He will. He'll sign him, and C.D. Lamb will get his money. And Jerry will make a decision at some point in time, are we going to sink or swim with Dak? But, look, the players have the power. And, you know, those of us who are older Cowboy fans, we remember when Emmitt Smith held out, and Jerry towed the line on that, and all of a sudden they were 0-2, and Emmitt Smith got his deal. So those guys will get paid. And you know, they've got a decision to make on Dak, and I'm sure they'll make it.
It says Micah's fifth-year option, Tommy, according to Jackie, is $21 million. Is it 2.1 or 21?
He is slated to make $2.989 million this season, according to Sports Illustrated.
Man, that is about as good a deal as it gets in professional sports.
It's something to talk about in the offseason, but they'll pay what they have to pay. I mean, I'm not saying the guys will spend their careers in Dallas, but it won't be because they're not getting paid.
Yeah. So, big event again in Pinehurst #2 with what happened at the U.S. Open. We'll talk more about Bryson DeChambeau coming up, but I do want to talk about what happened in Omaha. We brought up earlier the two Texas A&M fans that were ejected for basically just talking trash about the death of one of Florida's bat boys who was recently murdered by his father. Just in him and his brothers, just terrible situation, terrible thing to happen to that baseball program, that family overall. But what's kind of overshadowed during the course of the last couple of days is we've had some great games, including A&M advancing past Florida.
The 1-2. The Aggies win it. A robbery to cap what has been a spectacular 2 days in Omaha.
3 straight walk-offs. Did y'all catch the A&M player robbing the Florida hole run? Did you get a chance to see that? I didn't watch it live. I watched it the highlight.
I saw the highlight later on.
But it was, I mean, guys, there's play after that kid in center field for Tennessee caroomed in the wall, made a made a huge play. There's some great highlights so far. Caromed into the wall. Did I say that right? Caromed? Yeah, caromed. My bad. Caromed into the wall. And
I didn't get to watch a lot of those Friday night and Saturday games because I watched some of Saturday's stuff waiting on the wedding to start. That's what we had on as everybody's getting ready. But the catch by the center fielder for Kentucky, it made the Sports Center his top 3 or 4 play of the day. But that's a big league play right there. Fully extended, stretched out, caught the ball. I mean, there's been some big league type defensive plays there.
Well, I thought the catch Hunter Ensley made in center field last night for Tennessee. I mean, I don't know how he didn't run through the wall. I mean, I really don't. And I mean, he left eye black on the wall. I mean, it was unbelievable. And but I mean, an inning later, after the adrenaline wore off, he's woozy, and they got to take him out of the game. I don't think I've ever seen a player hit the wall that hard and hang on to the ball. I've seen guys hit the wall harder and lose the baseball. But, I mean, it was when you watch that thing in real time from that side angle, that wall didn't give an inch. No. And he held on to that baseball. I just thought that was really impressive. And, you know, it's a big center field out there. If you can go get it, you can make some great plays in that ballpark.
Did you guys see the play? I believe it was North Carolina State's center fielder. I just saw the highlight where it's like a wide receiver in football, caught it coming over his shoulder.
Right before the wall, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that's a very unusual play that you don't
see great plays in center field in that ballpark because if you can run and you've got the ability to take the angle, you can make some great plays out there.
Yeah. And if you break wrong at the beginning as the ball comes off the bat, it can be
well, it's all about angles. Yeah. All about angles.
Can beat you.
Yeah. So last night Tennessee beats in North Carolina, I guess 6-1. North Carolina on the brink of elimination. Virginia was eliminated last night. Florida plays NC State, loser goes home, and then A&M plays Kentucky. Tennessee just has a much easier side of the bracket. Unfortunately for Chaz in Fayetteville, who texted in earlier on the McLarty Daniel hotline, hates if Tennessee has a chance to win a national championship before Arkansas. Not to say that they won't encounter turbulence the next week or so, but they sure did themselves a favor by staying on that winner's side of the bracket leading up to this upcoming semifinal. And
you think about Florida State losing that game the other night. They got to win 4 in a row. Now they've won 1. Now they've got to beat North Carolina, and then they've got to beat Tennessee twice, and I don't think they can do that. Now, in the other bracket, on the other side, the winner of tonight's game obviously is in the driver's seat. But I tend to think Kentucky and Texas A&M are very, very evenly matched. I could see whoever loses the game tonight, for example, I could see them coming back and winning a game and forcing a deciding game in that bracket. I don't know if anybody's good enough to beat Tennessee twice, but I think Kentucky or A&M's capable of beating one another twice, and it's only one of those teams that I think would have a chance to beat Tennessee twice.
Yeah, ACC so far is 0-3 against SEC competition. The SEC has the upper hand. It would be safe to say, not 100%, but safe to say that an SEC team is probably still going to win this upcoming College World Series, which I guess continues on the streak. I think it was since 2018. You've had 3 straight West teams that have won. That streak might be under fire considering how Tennessee and Kentucky are playing, but unless something crazy happens, guys, probably still have another SEC national champion.
Well, you know, we were talking earlier about did Bryson win it or did Rory lose it? If Tennessee doesn't go to the finals, they will have lost it. Because, I mean, they are firmly in the driver's seat. And the SEC is firmly in the driver's seat. It would be unusual now, given the way it's gone so far, for the winner of tonight's game and Tennessee not to be the ones that meet for the championship.
And you just think about with the additions, and I'm looking at this from a baseball vantage point because we're in baseball. You think about the additions of Oklahoma and Texas, 2 teams. I don't know, Oklahoma doesn't have the same tradition-rich baseball program that Texas does. As much
they
as
were better this year,
yeah,
though.
They were in the College World Series final 2 years ago. So maybe something's cooking there. You think about those 2 teams and the additions, maybe, again, another team or 2 doesn't make the postseason. But
well, one of the things, pardon me for interrupting, that you've got to watch in college baseball is what does Texas do with their job? Are they going to fire Pierce? I think they're going to. Is Tony Vitello going to be their number 1 target? That's the domino that's going to fall. If Texas makes a change, which they'll do, I would imagine, very quickly after the College World Series, who do they target? And is it an established coach? Is it a coach that is in the conference right now? I suspect that they will fire their coach and they will target a coach that is in the league already. I'll be surprised if that doesn't happen, quite honestly.
And that was good.
Hey, they could go get Jay Johnson at LSU, or at least they could try to.
So we have a baseball-only group text, and there's been some texts that have been tossed around by a person or two that ends up being factual a week or two in advance. And those three names, like you just mentioned, Chuck, have been, and also Schlossnagle, that was the other one. Schlossnagle, Vitello, and Jay Johnson are kind of the names because Texas, we know, as an athletics department, has a good chunk of money and has a good donor base. And their baseball program has had a lot of success, and they want to get back to that. So I like you, I do wonder if they are going to swing for the fences, particularly in this conference. And then you always, Tommy, do a good job of explaining, hey, what kind of domino effect does that have with any sport for that matter? Because if one coach gets hired, then a lot of times in the conference, you'll see maybe another assistant or another coach go to that said school. You just kind of wonder
opens up the transfer portal window for a time for those particular players. Yep. So, the ripples are bigger, and those circles extend out further now than they did 10 or 15 years ago. So, Chuck, it's, we always talk about the people that, are behind the scenes you don't think about or don't know about that lose their jobs and their families moving. But, when a head coach, particularly in football, it affects 500 plus people. Baseball, maybe not as big, but, the ripple effect is huge.
Well, obviously, if Texas makes a change, the transfer portal is going to be affected. There's no doubt about that. I suspect that Texas is prepared to make somebody the highest paid coach in college baseball. I suspect that's what they'll try to do. Now, they may swing for the fences and may end up hiring somebody else. They may get turned down, but I think they're prepared to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Hey, we've been talking about golf a lot this morning with the conclusion of the U.S. Open. Makes me think about my friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. If you're looking for your own customized golf cart, whether for on the course or for in the neighborhood or some of both, they can design and custom build just the right easy-go cart for you and your family with custom wheels, custom lights, a custom audio system, the electronics you want it lifted a little bit, they can do that. If you want custom paint or any kind of fabrication work, their shop can take care of anything that your imagination has come up with to set your cart apart from everyone else in your neighborhood. They have gas and electric models. The new lithium batteries have an 8-year warranty. So if you're looking for a high-quality, American-made cart, Easy Go's the way to go, and you can find them at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. 2 locations, Fayetteville and Little Rock. I went to the one in Fayetteville, just off the Garland exit. Go to the opposite way of Sam's. It's there on North McConnell at the next light, right next door to the rental store there. You'll find them right there in that shopping center. Easy on and off to I-49 at the Garland exit. And you can see everything online at arpowersports.com. That's arpowersports.com for Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, your Easy-Go dealer in Northwest Arkansas.
When we return here on the Morning Rush, we had a really good conversation with Isaiah Joe this past Friday. And one of the things he brought up that he was very, very emphatic about is that Arkansas is now the hunted, not the hunter, with John Calipari at the helm. I want to discuss what he had to say. We'll share it with you if you missed it. Coming up on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's ready-to-roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup playoffs this season. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. And when the game's over, head on over to the online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use the promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you. Are you ready to give your family the best 4th of July experience yet? USA Fireworks wants to make that happen with the USA Fireworks Bangin' Giveaway. USA Fireworks has helped Arkansans more than 30 years. Go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks and enter for your chance to win a fireworks show worth $2,000 retail. Again, hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks. For more information about wholesale prices, go to usafireworks.org.
This
Hi, we talk all the time. Oh, they got to find the money. What are they going to do to find the money? Here's the thing you always have to remember about athletic directors at big schools where sports is popular. They know they can literally find someone to sponsor every blade of grass on every field that they have. You can sell anything. Sponsors will buy anything related to college sports.
Curious to see if anyone buys the naming rights to Razorback Stadium as Donald W. Reynolds will, I guess, go away this summer, and maybe it'll just be Razorback Stadium this fall. Maybe it'll be something else. Razorback Stadium. Curious if anything comes out of that.
My point in saying all that was that everything's for sale. You just got to decide what you're willing to sell.
I think that's a fair point.
Everything's for sale.
So, because we were that conversation was around the idea of the Big 12 giving their naming rights to a insurance broker like Allstate or Whataburger or Buc-ee's or anything like that. So it's kind of what we were talking about this last week.
Yeah. Hey, we're brought to you by River City Coatings. They're located in Van Buren, and whether small or large, River City Coatings can handle all of your powder coating needs. Now, what is powder coating? Is that like paint? Well, it's not just a layer of paint. It becomes part of the metal, so it can withstand chemicals, abrasions, and a lot more. And when you need your metals to last and you don't want to have to maintenance them with continual painting, you want to get them powder coated with River City Coatings. They've been doing this for more than 25 years. You said, well, what might I want to powder coat so I don't have these problems? Well, commonly patio furniture, rims for your ATV or side-by-side or your vehicle, brake calipers, farm equipment parts. I mean, really anything metal that you want to look great and last a long time and the color never change. It needs to be powder coated, and it's far more affordable than you might think. Go to rivercitycoatings.com. That's rivercitycoatings.com. And if you think it might be too expensive, well, that might not be possible. Give them a call and let them work it out for you. That's rivercitycoatings.com.
You know, we had a pleasant conversation with Isaiah Joe this past Friday, and he said a couple things that kind of stood out to me, including this about Arkansas basketball. Now, we've kind of talked about it, but this is the player vantage point. This is a guy that, again, has been through the trenches, has been through this perspective of being the hunter. Now Arkansas basketball is the hunted.
Yeah, man, I actually ran into him last Friday. I was up on campus. Yeah, I was up on campus, and I bumped into him, said a few words to him. But I think it's actually kind of weird having somebody on your team that you've always wanted to beat. You know, he's one of the best out there. And so the fact that he's always been the enemy, I think that kind of shows how great of a coach he is and how good it is to have him on our side now, because we have the target now. Yeah, everybody wants to beat Kentucky. Everybody wants to beat Coach Cal. And so now that we have him on our side, I think he's going to help our organization in a positive light.
We've talked about the showman that John Calipari is before, and you really, not that people didn't want to beat Eric Musselman the past couple of years and the success that Arkansas was able to have going to different places, but not to this same degree. Guys, you really have to go back to the Nolan Richardson days and how Arkansas was like the team to beat outside of Kentucky in the conference. And now I'm curious to see how they handle it, especially these initial SEC road games. I know we're a long way out from the season, but I thought that was an interesting perspective from Isaiah to kind of, now that Arkansas is in a different situation that they hadn't been in quite some time.
Well, you've got a national personality as your head coach, and people will want to, because of that, the opposition's going to want to beat you more because of him. But I don't think these players are going to be affected by that at all. They've been, they've had targets on their back, so to speak, in every arena that they've played in. So, sure, there's going to be people boo them, but they're not going to boo Cal any harder than we're going to boo Nate Oates. So, I mean, this is a league with big personalities for head coaches. It's not always been that way. Used to, it was just Cal. Now you got a bunch of big personalities in our league. So, but yeah, it's. I mean, when he's your head coach, you've got a target on your back. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it's going to.
But it's nothing unusual for them.
I think it's just unusual for this fan base and like you said, the players, because I think it's true with Big Z and the Arrow and then also Wagner. Like, they were at Kentucky last year. You've got some other 4- and 5-star guys that when they walk into opposing gymnasiums, they're hated, they're booed and whatever. Trevin, not that he hasn't been booed when he's gone to Columbia or anything, but I think from the fan base, it's like now you're the team that people want to beat, which Arkansas fans haven't really thought themselves as for for quite some time.
Normally haven't been the hated team. But speaking of players and Cal, NBA Finals Game 5 coming up. Lines are available at Oaklawn Sports. In fact, if you haven't signed up yet, Oaklawn Sports can give you a second chance on your first bet. So if you follow Ty's advice, you're probably going to need that second chance. You create your account, you make your deposit. You can use your credit or debit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, cash on site, or even ACH. Once you've done that, make your first bet of $10 up to $250, and you're all set. If that first bet doesn't work out, you get a bonus bet of equal value up to $250. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. So, Ty, you're betting on the Mavericks in Game 5.
I think the Mavericks are going to win tonight. As odd as it is to say, I think they win tonight and then lose Game 6, which doesn't make a lick of sense. Now, my luck says sometimes they'll get blown out tonight, but I honestly think they're going to win tonight's game and then lose back at home.
Chuck, it's almost like in Game 4, you could see, maybe not that wide a margin, but you could almost see it coming where the Mavericks were going to win easy.
This is not the first time a team down 3-0 has blown out the other team in the fourth game. And it happens a lot. Happens, regularly, quite honestly, not just in basketball, but in all sports. I don't know who's going to win tonight, but Boston's going to win the series.
Absolutely. Well, if you find yourself waking up this morning to a plumbing issue or one occurred over the weekend and you wanted to wait till Monday morning to deal with it, West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services are there for you. 479-646-5151 is their number. Water, sewer, gas, grease lines, they've been repairing those since 1993. So they have the experience to come to your home or business and get things flowing your way. 479-646-5151. That's 646-5151 for West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
Got our SEC update coming up. Some of what happened in Omaha this weekend, and we'll wrap up our Hot Take Monday next on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guns.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jello for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, the savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jello
for hard work and the great outdoors.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
3 days of baseball thus far in Omaha, Nebraska. For the College World Series, Tennessee has looked really good, and they've continued on their hot streak, including a walk-off against Florida State.
The 1-0 in the air, left center field. Ross on the move, won't get there. Tennessee walks it off.
The number 1 seed that has not won a College World Series since 1999, that streak could be in jeopardy if Tennessee continues on that stretch. Games today. Florida against NC State, 1 o'clock on ESPN. A&M against Kentucky at 6 o'clock, also on ESPN. So you've got those 2 games. You've got the NBA Finals, Game 5 tonight with the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. I have thoroughly enjoyed the College World Series thus far because the games have been awesome. 3 straight walk-offs. SEC has looked really good and continues on its dominant run. Now, it's not concluded just yet. Maybe an ACC team comes out of the woodwork and figures it out and ends up dethroning the Southeastern Conference. But thus far, Tommy, it's kind of what we thought. The SEC has the upper hand.
Tennessee's going to break this streak. They're the best team. I mean, we've just watching the games, and I know they had to come from behind on Friday night, but they're the best team, and I think they're going to be a hard one to knock out. They'll have to beat themselves in many ways to not win the national championship.
And we've gotten text on the McLarty Daniel hotline about Tennessee, and I get the vantage point of perspective of not wanting Tony Vitello to win one before Dave Van Horn wins one. Wes Johnson eliminated another assistant that was eliminated in the Super Regionals, I guess by NC State. I think Arkansas fans would be disappointed. In fact, I get a sense from the texters on the McLarty Dana Hotline, you'd rather have anyone else, any other SEC team, win before Tennessee. But the way they're playing, Tommy, it's hard to disagree that they will not finish this thing out. But a lot can happen next week or so.
Best teams don't always win, but right now they're playing the best. And if, heading into this next phase, and the teams that get off to that 2-0 start are just, they're just impossible to at least not advance to the championship series.
Yep.
I'd be surprised if they don't play for the national title.
Yeah, plenty of SEC players featured in the upcoming NBA Finals matchup tonight. P.J. Washington, our guy Daniel Gafford, who again has looked awesome in this series.
Brown gets inside, layup short, rebound Doncic looking to push. Layup to Gafford. Oh, perfect connection.
Highlight after highlight, blocks, dunks. He's just a kid that you root for, and I'm rooting for the Dallas Mavericks, even though they eliminated my Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm rooting for them to win later on tonight. I don't feel that great. You were talking about the liner. I think it's 6.5 in favor of Boston. Maybe Dallas is at least able to cover tonight. That adds some more. Add some more juice to the playoffs, which really the finals, Tommy, is as good as the playoffs overall have been. The finals have kind of been a dud outside of like one game. I mean, you had a blowout last time. Not really anything to look at in game 3. I guess game 2, Big C was the only good game thus far, right?
It's been good games, but it hasn't been, except game 1 and game 4. The 2 and 3 were good games, but it wasn't, the result.
Luka fouls out.
Yeah, it just wasn't. You'd like to see the Mavericks get one of those games. Obviously, it'd be, 2-2 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas.
Yeah, now 3 showroom locations to help you. They're in Greenland for those in Fayetteville and the south part of our Northwest Arkansas coverage. They're right there. For those in the northern part of our Fort Smith area coverage, it may be quicker for you to go to the Greenland location. That's the brand new showroom. They're also in Fort Smith and Springdale. You can stop in right now and find out about Doughboy Above Ground Pools. They have up to $1,500 off, 18-foot steel walls, only $75 a month. Plus, they got discounts on semi-in-ground pools that are under $200 a month, and you get a free robotic cleaner as well. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, Fort Smith, and now in Greenland, and always online at burtonpools.com.
So the other big NBA news, not just Game 5 tonight, was the announcement from Charles Barkley over the weekend on NBA TV that next season will be his final year, not just with TNT, but doing coverage overall.
I've been thinking, guys, I want to say this because you guys are my family. I really love TNT, all the people who work here, NBA television. You guys been great to me for 24 years, and I just want to say thank you to my entire NBA family. I love you guys. There's been a lot of noise around our network the last few months, and I just want to say I've talked to all the other networks, but I ain't going nowhere other than TNT. But I have made the decision myself, no matter what happens, next year is going to be my last year on television. And I just want to say thank you to my NBA family. You guys been great to me. My heart is full with joy and gratitude.
A lot of speculation on what Charles Chuck, known by many, was going to do with his television career. It sounds like, again, after this next season, he is going to end it. In some people's minds, prematurely after what's going on with TNT. Still might get rights after this, a smaller deal. We'll have to wait and see on that. I'm going to be honest, he makes this decision. It's his call. It's his career. It's his future. I'm kind of happy he's not going anywhere else, even though I love him, and I think he's one of the best commentators, if not the best in sports. I just don't know if his heart would be fully invested if he went somewhere else, to be honest, Tommy.
And I get it. You do something a long time, even though you love it and you have a passion for it. There's other interests you gain. There's other, and that, I don't know Chuck's business portfolio, but it's extensive beyond broadcasting, beyond what we see publicly. Mm-hmm. He's invested and involved in many things. You get to a certain point, you want to just focus on other items. 24 now, it would be 25 years he's been on television plus a playing career. he's earned the right to walk away the way he wants to. If this is the way he chooses to do it, fine. People will still seek out and look for Chuck's opinion on many things. And I'm guessing this will not be the last time he's on TV or in the spotlight. He'll find other ways to fulfill that outlet for him and keep his brand alive. But, being chained to, you know how it is. The clock's the boss here every morning. We got to be in these chairs at 6 a.m. no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You do that for enough years and enough decades, finding your way out of that in a great way sometimes is a door you'll walk through.
Is it fair to say that if he went somewhere else, he maybe wouldn't have the leeway and the
no question,
the unfiltered opinions that he has?
No,
great point, Big C.
Because anywhere he goes, he's going to set the rules, just like Pat McAfee seemingly has with his show at ESPN. He can do things that others can't and won't. Wherever Chuck goes, he's going to go. But I think probably the reality is when you start trying to put all of it back together somewhere else, I don't think Chuck's interested, from what I can tell, in doing a show with anyone other than the people he's working with now and getting everybody to agree to do the same thing for the money that they want, to bring along the crew to keep doing it the way it's been done, which has been great, is a lot more difficult than you just think. Because, Shaq's got his agenda. Ernie's got his agenda. Everybody on that set and then behind the scenes, it's not just those four guys. It's the producers. It's all the crew that makes them look great. It's the researchers. It's people writing the stuff that goes in the teleprompter at times. The people talking in their ear that give them the right line at the right moment. Not everybody can just, pull up their tent stakes and go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. I am going to miss these type of interactions, though.
Let me tell you something. That water's so dirty, I'd rather go to San Antonio. I'd rather go to San Antonio with them big old women. No, I'm not going to Galveston. I want to go to the beach down in the river walk and watch them big old women walking around San Antonio.
Those are the type of interactions and scenes that make you fall out of your lazy boy. They legitimately have fun. I know that it gets testy from time to time because Charles doesn't have an NBA championship and Shaq loves to rub his nose in that, but they do enjoy working together, and it's fun to watch.
Likeable, people love him, and that's what Chuck will be known for. And that's a quality that's hard. It has to be genuine. It's hard to just manufacture that.
We had a chance to catch up with Joe Klein before, who was a former teammate of Charles Barkley. And 2 years ago, when Arkansas played Auburn on the road, Joe was with Charles the whole time and made him wear a Razorback hat after KJ and Rocket ran roughshod over that team, and it was awesome being in Jordan Air Stadium, considering you always seem to lose in a dramatic way there. But Joe shared some stuff with us about Charles Barkley. He's great, great teammate off the scenes and stuff, which is just cool to have that Razorback tie-in when it comes to, again, one of the most famous commentators out there and a player that was fun to watch as well. All right, as we wrap up today's show here, coming back to what happened at Pinehurst #2 this weekend with Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy. Rory elects to just move straight on. You were joking about the rented shoes aspect. He's sitting down after watching Bryson hit that final putt and watching his chance at another major slip by. That has definitely been something that's circulating and people have been talking about, not just the way he lost, but his face after he lost.
Yeah, and, I just thought it was dramatic TV. It's not going to be the most watched thing probably of the weekend. I'm sure the NBA Finals will multiply that many times over, but I thought it was great drama. And if you're just a fan or you're just wanting to watch great competition, down the stretch, that last hour and a half of golf from about 12 or 13 on, them not being in the same group and the back and forth and the moans and groans and cheers of the crowd. If you're a golf fan at all, you had to have loved that last couple hours of coverage.
Do you like
awesome.
when the golfers are in the same group down the stretch, or would you rather them be staggered like they were this week?
I probably in the last same group together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look each other in the eye, but I just think it makes the coverage easier, and they kind of can go more shot for shot.
It was kind of odd, and that's how it went. So he hits that shot, wins the Open, and then Pavone had to, I guess, still putt. He hadn't finished, so Bryson had to kind of quiet the crowd before The young guy had to finish out and conclude his, but he did. I don't even know, Tommy. I didn't see it. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe it didn't happen. Was there even an interaction between Bryson and Rory after the round?
No, I think Rory pretty much did the parking lot trot.
Okay,
and
I will say, like, the not appearing in the media, it's not a great look. But you almost have to, like you said, look your opponent in the eye in that situation and congratulate him.
You know,
maybe I'd feel differently if I was in that situation.
And if he shook Bryson's hand, it wasn't on camera, at least. I'm not saying he didn't. We didn't see it as the viewing public. But, you know, I think Rory took on a little water yesterday in the public sentiment, and I think Bryson really helped himself in the public eye quite a bit yesterday. All right, it's been a Hot Take Monday, as always, brought to you by Lee J. Chris and all our friends at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They'll continue to celebrate dads all month long with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on the entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River products. Wheels RV. Start your journey to endless summer memories today.
I appreciate everyone joining us here on this Hot Take Monday. We're back in these chairs tomorrow for a Bandwagon Tuesday.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas.